due to adult language, themes, and images. I'm gonna warn you, don't have your children around. Please don't let your children hear the language. Please, viewers' discretion is advised. I gave you a warning. Now let's get into the show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, because somewhere around the world it is truly what time it is. I'm your host, the dopest political analyst on this planet and the most feared former congressional and senatorial candidate of these United States. Antone Tucker, Tony Montega, Tony X, the truth, the threat, the legend, Neo. Also, the wisest man alive. And I'm here with you, and we are unplugging from the Matrix. Thank you for being here today with me, and I just want to say to you, round of applause. All right. People want to know who to blame. I've seen some conservative commentators saying that New York City is the most inclusive, the greatest city in the world, and so you shouldn't be upset that they elected a Muslim. But what you should be upset is that they elected somebody who's clearly a socialist, who's a communist. You should be upset that they elected somebody who is not a New Yorker. You should be upset with the fact that it's the GOP's fault. Let's just get to it. Right to it. Donald Trump's current administration, and I'm not saying everybody, because there are people who are doing great work, but there are people who are not. The people in charge of his messaging is failing Donald Trump. Let me be clear. Donald Trump was never a Republican. From the very gate, from the very beginning, the moment that he came down the escalator, mainstream Republicans shunned him. They made fun of him. They made fun of you and me and everyone that considers themselves MAGA. Donald Trump never represented the Republican Party. Donald Trump represented the American people. He represented the people so much. The third time he ran, they gave him his shot. When he lost, in my opinion, it was the same Republicans that are now ha-ha kiki with him that allowed the Senate to be stripped from him when they cheated, in my opinion, in the 2020 election. The same Republicans that are there now, in my opinion, knew they cheated in the 2020 election. How many Republicans blamed him for January 6th? How many Republicans that were in the Senate wanted to certify the 2020 election? I have to make sure that I jog your memory back, because the things I'm going to say is going to get people mad, because you're going to be like, well, why are you attacking the Republican Party? Because if you don't tell the truth, then nothing's going to change. Donald Trump, to us, is what Zohran Mamdani is to New Yorkers. and not real New Yorkers, but the people who just got there, the people that we allowed to come here. How did it get that way? The GOP. Corny as fuck. Corny. When I ran, when I was in New York, the guy that they backed couldn't get 20,000 organic followers. And people say, well, social media won't allow you to win a race. I would have won. I would have defeated Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had I had the backing of the GOP and the support of the national GOP. I would have wiped the floor with her. She would have never been able to debate me. Not in a million years. And if I would have had any participation whatsoever in anyone trying to help me cultivate myself as a candidate, someone authentic, realistic, not looking to just dig my pockets for money, they would have came to me and they would have said, hey, brother, let me work aside you with this campaign to help you get where you have to go, because you have some things that I believe are incredible. We could try to get these things done, and some things may not happen. You may have to prepare yourself for that. How about you use less these words here and we get you in the light? Instead, people like Candace Owens helped to stagnate my campaign by endorsing a female. And when I asked her, sis, why would you do that? Oh, I was just trying to give a black woman a chance. Whole entire time crying about identity politics in front of the world, traveling all around the country under Brexit, collecting your dollars. And then when I asked her why would she endorse a woman who she didn't even know, and I asked her, what about her policies she liked? She said, I just wanted to give a black woman a chance. Well, what about the black man that was running? That would have stood in front of a firing squad to protect your life. What about him? Because when I met you, I didn't ask to meet you. You begged me to come and speak at your event. I never asked to go there. I never asked to go. Did I ask to go there, Noel? Wasn't she begging me? Didn't I pawn all my fucking watches to run? Am I going crazy? Are we still in debt, paying off a $2 million fucking campaign? Am I wrong?
Cap.
All she did was
Cap.
That's it. The GOP been corny. They've been losing. Donald Trump's the winner. And his problem currently is he's allowing himself to represent the GOP and not the MAGA movement like he once did before. He's allowed people around him to corporatize MAGA. And while what he used to, because when he first ran, you know what he did? He traveled around the country. He went state to state to states he knew were swing states, to states that he knew were important states, and he delivered the message, and then he told the people exactly what was doing. You know how many accomplishments this man has done? People don't even know about it. Because there's no strong messengers on the GOP side that could travel and even do those kind of engagements for him. And the people who could have, like Matt Gaetz, they're allowed to be extorted out of a position he should have had, with all due respect to Pam Bondi. Because the American people wanted Matt Gaetz. That's who they knew for a fact would get to the bottom of everything. Instead, the rollout has been a joke. And in order to save certain people on the Republican side and donors, they stifled and botched Jeffrey Epstein's files and release. No one intelligent enough believes he killed himself in that prison. No one with any kind of intelligence believes there were no camera pointed on his tier, because there is. I was there. I know for a fact there was. I know for a fact you can't tamper with the cameras. So everything that they said was a lie. They could have went years if that was the case, saying they're still trying to compile everything and get everything together. But they lied and then got caught lying. Then they send the president on a global mission without having anybody here to handle national affairs. They made sure they talked about Ukraine, Israel, everywhere else but here. Then you know what started to happen? People started to hate Ukraine and hate Israel. You had people like Tucker Carlson, who sent an invite to my campaign when I was running to come on this show. To later, within hours of me coming to the show, I purchased a shirt. I was in Macy's. I purchased a shirt, super excited. I'm thinking finally, at least if we don't win the race on a national scale, we will be able to create a message and then get, if I'm not the guy, fine, but at least to get the conversation started so we can get to the right direction. At least I want to be a part of that. In an hour that I'm supposed to be going into Tucker, I get a phone call, producers cancel the show. Then, while Tucker's a free agent, he has on, I don't know, what's this young kid name? What's the kid name? What? Fuentes, the Spanish white supremacist. And then I hear this kid, and I hear Tucker, and I hear them saying how they dislike Israel. Some people say they dislike Jews. If you don't like the involvement of AIPAC, and you're Tucker Carlson with a platform reaching millions of people, and you truly wanted to at least say, hey, I don't feel it's all, because that's what he says. I don't think it's all Jewish people. I just think AIPAC encroaches too much. I don't think anybody from any nation should be funding our politicians, no matter who they are, unless they're registered and they're filed. He could have started the petition. Tucker Carlson is intelligent enough to know crying online and then furthering whatever conspiracy he has won't change anything. Legislation does. So purposefully, he's never put up to shut up. He's never said, let's create signatures, let's get some new legislation in, let's remove or at least have AIPAC register. No, because there's more money in telling you, hate all the Jews. I'm telling you the truth. This is the dog chasing its tail. This is what they did when blacks won their freedom. And the white slave masters who couldn't read or write, who couldn't build anything, well, they blamed the blacks for everything. Got so mad they went and they burned down Tulsa, Oklahoma. What was known now as Black Wall Street. Because they blamed all the blacks for doing good because they were doing bad. And that's what you got the Republicans doing now. You're blaming everyone but yourself. Do you think the Democrats got this popular and this destructive without Republicans helping them? Sitting back and watching these people gorge on the taxpayers' money? Do you believe from the bottom of your heart that Republicans didn't know USAID was a NGO funding nightmare, a monster within itself? You don't think so? You don't think they know about all the salacious and felonious things the Clintons were being accused of? You don't think that they were on planes going to Jeffrey Epstein's island? Someone told Donald Trump, it's in your best interest to let it go. Of course, the Democrats lied about a lot. Of course, they're all involved. And I don't agree with not wanting to shame former presidents and put it out there. They ran in his house. They went through his wife's personal belongings. And the only way to defeat these people is with two messages. One is with the mirror, showing the people exactly what they are. And when you dismantle USAID, Republicans, the GOP, nobody had a message clearly reaching Democrat voters on what that money were being stolen and used for. And then y'all don't have a message. Because there's only one message you can use to combat free shit. And you never use the message because you never intend to follow through with it. The reason why, if I ran, you guys, from the bottom of my heart, the only reason why I would run again is because if I use this message, I guarantee I'm going to make it happen. And I would stand aside legislators that are going to do the same thing that I'm going to do. Make you rich. The slogan of making America great again, awesome. But what about making Americans rich? If I decide to run, when I decide to run, I'm going to make you rich. I'm not going to tell you you're going to have anything free from anybody. I'm not going to allow the same Republicans that sat on their ass in cigar-filled rooms, gorging themselves off the taxpayers to continue to gaslight you and then point to the other side, but look and say it's them when it's both of them. The only message that combats socialism is, I'm going to make you rich. That's what capitalism is about. Everybody has a hustle. Everybody has an ability. If I run, I'm going to make you rich. I'm going to teach you how to cultivate your talents, your abilities, and I'm going to make sure you keep them here so we can use it. And I'm going to make sure everyone in the world pays you so you're rich. That's my message. There has to be a new message in the GOP or there is no message at all. Because the only message to combat socialism, communism, is I will make you rich if you let me. If it doesn't happen in this generation, if you follow what I tell you, I guarantee your children will be the benefactors of your hard work and you will see them rich before you close your eyes and lay down for the last time. And don't tell me I can't do it, because I can do it. Don't ask me how, I'll show you. Because I was doing it during my last campaign. Since middle school, from the beginning of middle school, you open up vocational training locations. You make sure every kid that goes inside of there learns how to build drones, how to build robots. We make sure we're current because technology changes every 2 years. We incentivize real education and real teachers. And when teachers are actually producing, we give them bonuses that fucking matter because we give money everywhere around the world. And the only way to change the perversion of whatever this that you call the educational system in this country is making sure the teachers benefit from teaching what's true and accurate. Because the only reason why they're okay with telling children to chop off their body parts is because they're being paid to do it or their job depends on it. I'm going to make you rich. I'm going to teach you how hard work, a work ethic, putting your feet to the pavement, your hands to the steel will bring you money. I'm not going to promise you a bunch of free shit. It's sold to the people who don't want to work hard. You know why? Because they never felt the glory of earning something from fucking working for it. The GOP has no message. Corny as fuck. Riding Donald Trump's coattails, and the whole entire time dragging him down so much, he started to look like them. You don't believe me? Go to his comments. Go to his comments, week of election. Go to his comments, day of election. Go to his comments yesterday. They don't say, how could he just be about Israel? He's allowed the Saudis to buy boxing. They bought Ring Magazine. It's one of the oldest, prestigious belts in boxing history. He's done deals with almost every Arab nation that has allowed him to step in there. But nobody has a message. Because instead of them telling you there are Muslims who is against radicalism, they paint all of them. You go online now and everybody's like, oh, The Muslims took it over. There are Muslims who didn't vote for Mondani. There are Muslims who do not believe in terrorism. There are Muslims who left the places that these people came from here seeking refuge. There are Muslims who don't want to give up their stores. The same way there's different types of Christians, there are different types of Muslims. And Mondani would have never won had Cuomo not been in the race. Had the GOP given you someone that they've helped build up nationally, you could relate to. Donald Trump held a rally in the Bronx in New York City. He all but flipped the state. He all but flipped New York State. They fucking love Donald. So how did that change in this amount of time? The GOP has been making him corny as fuck. Because in New York City, I'm telling you firsthand, the one guy who reached out to me, Mike, he reached out. When I reached back out, he was hard to find. Because money make the world go round. It's not about people. It's about who pockets get greased. And they can't see the forest from the trees. These people are running in the same direction, and everyone's going to fall off the cliff. It's not about parties. I'm telling you, it's fake. I remember one time there was a mob of Antifa in Lower Manhattan, 42nd Street. Jewish people were having a Trump parade. I see them beating on this old man, old Jewish guy, beating his daughter up. I jump in the crowd. I'm pulling them off of him and getting them off. And my security comes. He's not grabbing me. He's grabbing them from away from me. He's just ripping these people all away from me and everything else. And I'm watching as a well-known conservative is taping everything right there in front of me. He's right in front of me taping everything. You've never seen him post that footage. Never. You know why? It's because it would make me popular, or it would have been a viral clip for him. Because ultimately it would have showed he was the guy holding the camera and not in the crowd helping me pull people off that old man. That's why. They don't go into any poor communities. No outreach. Angela Stanton King ran. They pretty much ignored her as much as they could. As much as they could. When Angie House burned down, you didn't see Fox News or anyone saying anything about it. Not a word. It's because the GOP is corny. That's why. MAGA is not the GOP. We're not. You didn't vote for GOP members. If you're intelligent, you'll stop saying he took a picture with a co-conspirator of the 93 9/11 bomb thing because the FBI gave those individuals real explosives, and the FBI coerced those individuals to put the explosives in the bottom of the World Trade Center and then detonate them. It's been proven in court. You can't sit there and say 9/11, 9/11, 9/11 because your United States government told NORAD to stand down. Your United States government allowed what appears to be a missile to fly into the Pentagon. Your United States government allowed those trade centers to be filled, in my opinion, with explosives and thermite, and the structures burnt for over 3 years. That there is a fact. You watched as the so-called owner of the World Trade Center said we had to pull Building 7. That would mean if you have any sort of intelligence that someone went into a burning building with explosives to set the explosives in already a burning building. How do you do that? So because you're MAGA, you already know the government did that. Just like you know the government did COVID. You are not like anybody else. You're not like the Democrats. You're not like the Republicans. You are the part of the country that fucking gets it. You want to make sense of things. Of course, we want anybody that's an ally of ours to be strong militarily, because if someone F's with us, we want to be able to strike from anywhere over the world. At the same time, you definitely want to feel like home is a priority. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having your cake and eating it too. Consequently, a lot of you felt like you're not having your cake. And it's because the GOP has no one messaging. And some people will say, what about J.D. Vance? What about J.D. Vance? What about J.D. Vance? They're not attacking J.D. Vance. The Democrats never attack J.D. Vance. Do you not notice that? They don't attack him. They attack Donald Trump. Everything is Donald Trump. Everything is Donald Trump. You don't get it? They're not branding him. They're not even allowing him to be a part of the conversation. And the GOP is not even smart enough to push him and then push him in impoverished communities with an actual message to help them. So while Donald is trying to give the United States global unity and world peace, the GOP could have been having the second lady and the vice president touring throughout the country, the same way Donald did when he won his first election. I personally know people who are in Donald Trump's administration. And I'm going to be candid because I don't have to care anymore. From the very beginning, I've tried my best to give my honest opinion. I've offered my help on several occasions. The problem is there are people who do not want my help because it's not about winning. It's about money, the status quo. Because the only way we will win moving forward is if we have a message we can deliver on. And they don't want to deliver on a message of true prosperity. Because if they did, we would have spoke a long time ago. The thing that's different about the socialists that just defeated the Democrat Party, that just gutted them out like a worm in an apple, hollowing them out as they helplessly back these socialists. It only happened because the GOP never allowed anyone to come in to help. This is before Donald Trump and after Donald Trump. It's because the message of I am corny as hell will reside with this political movement once Donald Trump is gone. It breaks my heart. It really does. But I believe in 2 years, New York City will be upset with themselves. I believe in 2 years of Zoran being the mayor, I believe that he will be a failure. I believe he will fail like Brandon Johnson did. I don't think that he is politically threatening enough for New York City. I think that there's some old money that's there that's just laughing at him. He's just another guy in a suit that's going to be told what to do. Like it's always been. Same guy crying to you about billionaires took pictures with him and took money from one. And first it was the rich, and then, all of the socialists are rich. And then it was the millionaires. All the socialists are millionaires. And now it's the billionaire class. Until they become the billionaire class. Their message worked because the GOP never had a real message other than riding Donald Trump's coattails and then diluting his success with their corniness. Corniness. And MAGA finds itself online arguing all day because of Tucker Carlson platforming some Spanish white supremacists and not questioning Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens on why they just didn't create or help to create some type of legislation. Why not ask for signatures? If you're not anti-Semitic and you just want to make sure that outside sources are not using greedy politicians, because it happens. It happens with every single country. Every country. And who wouldn't take an advantage of a sleazy politician who's on the take? You're going to want something for yourself. If you're an American and you're going to another country, if you can grease someone's palm to get something for Americans, yeah, some preferred treatment, you're going to do it. So if you don't want that happening from anybody, why not help create legislation when you have a platform that reaches millions? Because you're full of shit. That's why. It's because there's more money in controversy and hate than it is an actual solution. See? The only message to combat socialism is, I will make you fucking rich. The only thing to combat poverty is, I will make you smarter, stronger. What has Donald Trump been doing? Ending the Board of Education. Stopping the perverse indoctrination of our children. I will make you smarter. Ending the cancer-causing chemicals laced in food and inside of the shots for the kids filled with mercury. I will make you stronger. No one said that. Tariffs coming in from other countries, from all over the world. I'm making you richer. I just used this tariff money to pay for them food stamps, girl. Pop that pussy for me. No. You may not like what I just said, but you know what? Sometimes they need to hear that too. And you need to hear what you like to hear. Because everyone listens to different music. And the GOP just doesn't have an idea how to run all these radio stations. Because they don't know how to run one. Even to the people who are dry and corny. They can't even give them a direct message. And the one angel we had that was traveling all around the college campuses, getting people engaged and excited, didn't even have adequate security. And no matter what you may think about it, him losing his life was one of the most horrible things that could have happened to the GOP. Because he did all the work for them. They couldn't do it at all. The rising stars of the GOP, you ignore. Vivek, you ignored them. A lot of people was enthusiastic about him, and then you had this lady come up and say she wouldn't vote for him because she's Indian. Whoa, lady. I mean, Ann, I think her name, Ann Cutler, that's her name? What's her name? Coulter. You should have shut the fuck up. You just should have said, no, he's not experienced enough. He hasn't, yeah, that's it. But you got to step in it. You have to step in it. Because you don't know how to be cool. That's why. Some people will say, well, should she have held her feelings or whatever? Certainly. Because just because she feels that way personally doesn't mean that people should know how she personally feels. Personal and professional are two different things. I may not personally like, and I may personally believe that Mudani is a fucking terrorist. But professionally, I can't prove that. I just think professionally he's an imbecile. I think he will fail. I don't believe that he will be successful. I don't believe that he will be able to give these people anything that he said he can give them. And I believe they're going to revolt for it. I believe that when they see that the police officers are leaving, I believe that when they see that crime is up because police officers are not policing, they're not having the same backup, they don't have the same resources, and they're just plain afraid to go outside and possibly be shot by someone who's going to have a therapist talk to them in jail as they get no bail. I think that New York City is going to just say no. Even the people that were there for 5 years and decided to vote for him anyway. Who do you blame? I certainly don't blame Donald Trump. Even though that's who the left has to run to. Because the GOP can't do it without Don Daddy. They can't get it done. Because they lack the ability, the imagination, and charisma. And as many times as I've tried to extend my hand to try to help this administration, I've had people try their very best to keep me as far away from the president as possible. If I would have been in that administration, the hate, the things you see online, or my unborn daughter, you wouldn't see it now. That I believe wholeheartedly. If I would have been a part of that administration, at least even just critiquing and just giving advice, Mudani or my life wouldn't be the mayor of New York City right now. Donald Trump was the fresh blood. The GOP has no fresh blood. Peace.
I've been a patient here now for close to a year. I wanted the best care. I wanted consistent care. Sometimes you can go to places and reviews, you'll see, oh, you know, it's okay. If this person is working, it's bad. But when you check the reviews on the Smile Doctor, it's all positive. As soon as you walk in the door, I was always made to feel like I was a priority. It can give you a great experience. The televisions on the ceilings almost give you a euphoric flying feeling. They find out what music you like. So even the music of choice that you do like, it's playing when you walk in. I had a debilitating tooth issue that was actually going to start eating away at my bone marrow. And Dr. Reed caught it very early on. He removed the bad tooth. The surgery was easy, it was painless. I have 2 brand new teeth, and like I said, they're very attentive. So they're gonna measure your discomfort, they're gonna measure what pain you may have, and they're gonna deal with it. It's just a beautiful and positive environment. The experience here is unlike anything else I've ever went to, and I just encourage anybody out there, if you're watching this, come see the facility. Come listen to how quiet it is. Come listen to how happy the people are when they're exchanging words to each other. Come experience what it is to actually come and smile with confidence. Come to the Smile Doctor.